Oh, I'm here.
Oh, we're all
I
here?
think. Are we out here?
Everybody can see the map.
Yep.
Yep.
Alrighty.
This is not actually where we were. We were south of here, camped across from the Singing Frogs.
Right, that's where the canoe is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah. Gotcha. Someone just had to scroll his screen. Jenny, you ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay. Bright and early the next morning, we wake up. We've had a nice,
He is super. I'm gonna fix that.
restful rest. Right? The frogs sang us to sleep, essentially. Does anybody have any objection to? Do we want to scout some more, or do we want to simply traipse across the river and stomp into their singing area?
Well, when you get up in the morning, you notice that on this side of the river there are some odd things going on, and can I get y'all to make some perception checks?
Oh no.
That's not great. I can always shift to eagle form and get a +8 on that. I
Okay,
assume I'm in
so
human form at the moment.
I do not see any of the roles or anything else in chat.
Are you in chat? I see everybody's roles.
Yeah,
Did you see my role?
No, everybody but you.
yeah. I saw Ellendal,
Yeah.
Harold, me, and Simon.
Okay, that's what I was kind of wondering if something happened here.
Are you and
Hang on,
Simon in the same house?
I'm
No.
just refreshing my screen right now.
No, he's 22. He wouldn't be caught dead living with his father.
Okay.
But he's my sweet little baby boy, so I would let him live here forever.
I know that feeling, actually.
All right,
Huh.
Elendal notices
There we go.
stuff.
There you go.
Alright, the gang's all here.
Oh, sorry. I had voices mixed up. That was Lucha. Yeah, so highest so far is an 18. Oh, sorry. Highest so far is Ellendal with a 27.
Yeah. All right. So as I'm stretching, I look around and say, "Hey, look, guys, over there to the southwest. Looks like there's a clearing where a really huge tree must have fallen over, and the northwest there, it looks like there's some remains of some old buildings."
I'm just trying to remember if there's anything that we had heard regarding buildings or trees.
We
Oh,
hadn't
nothing.
scouted this side of the river at all, other than beaching the canoe and casting a couple shelter spells. We essentially just bedded down for the night.
Nice.
Well, we'll ask listens to, if you'd mind giving a quick flyover by both parts.
So, Jenny, I will spiral out from the camp, ranging not out of eyesight, to see what I can see. Are the frogs still there? What's north, south, east, west? And then when I get the lay of the land and I feel like I've scouted as well as I can scout, I'm going to land back at the camp and tell everybody everything. So feel free to just communicate everything to the whole party. Do you want me to re-roll perception?
All right, you go scouting. The ruins to the northwest appear to be an abandoned building of some kind. You also notice that there is another waterway over there.
I thought that was the other double chocolate because it was under one.
Yeah, I also thought that at first.
So from our last session, and is that something significant to the southwest of us?
Do I always
Fallen log?
Well, when you get
$26.
up high, you notice that the fallen tree appears to be glowing. The frogs are still there. You can still hear the singing. Just to the south of the frogs, you notice what looks to be
Well, there's
a large clearing. Roll me a perception check for that one.
divided by 4.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's a nice roll. And you think you see something kind of bluish glowing over here to the south of the frogs area as well. So let me see if I can mark that.
So I've got a glowing fallen tree, a glowing blue area to the south of the frogs. The frogs are still singing. And I've got an abandoned farm with buildings still semi-attacked to the northwest. And I don't have detect magic. So, and in eagle form, I don't have scent. So I see what I can see. And then I will land and tell everybody everything. The one question I have is, last time we used the wand was southwest of the tower, correct? And it pointed us in the
That's what
direction
the
of the
green
frogs?
arrows are.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
So right now it's pointing at the frogs.
And
Well,
based
is
on
that
those green arrows, I mean, it's got to be the frogs themselves,
You are close to it, yes.
or really close. Yeah. So what's the little? I need an explanation. So there's a little blue glowing thing that's about the size of a frog's butt. That's about an inch to the right of the die that I rolled on my screen. Is that the glowing blue area? Oh, never mind.
There?
Yes, never mind. The die is a reference.
I can't see the dice, but I can if you click with the selection arrow in your sidebar. As long as you make sure you get selected, if you click, it'll give us a circle wherever you click.
Okay, so that is the glowing blue area. What is the big red
That is where Mama Jama said gnomes here, basically on your map.
Okay, so that's the gnome area.
Yep.
Okay, I will land and explain all of this to the rest of the party, and then await the outcome of the powwow for our next course of action. What do you guys think?
Okay, so just for clarification, the farmhouse is to the
Yes.
northwest. The tree is to the southwest. The frogs are directly east, and a glowing thing is southeast.
Yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And were you able to perceive what that glowing thing looked like?
Just a blue glow.
Yeah, it wasn't that well visible. It's not big enough to be that well visible from up above.
Okay.
Once I land, I'm going to try bear. Do I smell anything unusual from any of those directions or in any direction?
It's gonna be a little too far for you to get a scent. You have to be pretty close to pick up a smell.
Okay. There's nothing in the wind, gentlemen.
Well, I would say, seems well, we're already beached and we have 2 out of the 4 areas on this side. Even though our wands kind of point towards our wand points towards the frog, I'd like to find out what's at the farm. See if there's anything we can need or use or anything like that, and then also find out why that log is glowing.
I would endorse all of that, except we do have a mission, and our main mission is to go find that wand, and that's in the frog area. So I would prioritize the frogs first. And if we don't find the wand in the frogs,
The
or
soul
sorry,
stone, you mean?
the soul stones in the frog area, then another activation of the wand to figure out where it might be. And then we can go exploring the blue thing, the tree, and the farm. But if everybody else would like to do it in a different order, I'm happy to do that.
No, I'm good with that. That makes sense to me. Let's get some frog legs for dinner.
Or do we want to cast the frogs, or cast the wand right southwest or southeast of the frogs? I don't know if you guys can see where I'm pointing.
You'd have to circle around the frogs, and then you're hoping that essentially the wand gives us a back azimuth into the frogs.
Yeah.
We could do that from. Yeah, we can do that. We could do that from the south blowing blue area. We could do that from just about anywhere. It doesn't have to necessarily be southeast or the frogs, although that would tell us whether it's beyond the frogs or in the frogs.
Exactly. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Does anybody have detect magic? And does detect magic have this kind of range? I assume it's like 100 meters between us and the frogs.
Detect magic can basically do whatever you can see. It's more like half a mile between you guys and the frogs.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, this is like a sizable area map. This is not a small area.
So we've got roughly a click between us and the frogs, and also between us and the farm, and probably more like
Looks to
a
be about
click
a
to
click.
the tree and the blue thing.
Well, and this map is not perfectly to scale. This is a hand-drawn map that Caharel gave you. It's not perfect.
Okay.
But just the remembrance from listens being in eagle form, are we kind of the same distance from the farm to the log?
roughly.
And
So from where Lucha wants to get to activate the wand, that's like a mile away.
Yeah.
Can I activate the wand as an eagle in the air?
Do you have natural spell?
I do.
I'm gonna rule that yes, you can then.
So I could take the wand, get to that area in the air, activate the wand, and then come back and let everybody know, and do that in 5 or 10 minutes instead of tromping through swamp for an hour.
Yeah, you could do that.
What do you guys think?
no, I like that idea.
Okay.
I don't want to get my feet dirty.
Everybody's so loud. Holy crap.
I'm just typing this into chat.
Seeing noise, but it's not coming through now.
So that's what I intend to do. Let me know, obviously, if something looks dangerous or unusual, or if that plan looks unexpectedly hazardous during its execution. So I'm going to fly roughly straight south across the river and then roughly to there, and then activate the wand. Also, I'm
Okay.
gonna see if I can see a little bit better what that blue thing is on the way.
Okay, well, let's do the wand first. When you activate the wand, it is pointing to right about there.
Okay, let me draw in. There you go. Thank you. Okay, well, I come back and tell everybody that. So it's not in the frogs. You know what this means to me, guys?
It's moving.
It's moving. Yep. Because there's no way it could be in the direction it was from when we were northeast of the tower and now be in the direction it is based on that last arrow.
Keep in mind that there's more than one soulstone out here, and the wand only shows you the nearest one.
Okay. So there could be two, but they'd have to be pretty close together. How
There
Close
could
long?
to
be
a
two
large
pretty close
area,
together.
too.
Say again.
This is a pretty large area.
Sorry, I can't hear you at all, Ellendal. Let me try like changing the server on the thing and see if that helps.
I can hear him.
This is a fairly large area, we got to remember, too. So
Yeah. How long does an active? Is it long enough that I could carry it around and get a triangulation?
No, it's just you basically get a ping when you use it.
Okay.
It's a one-shot thing. It's not a long. Well, I think so. Let me check. I thought that's what it was, but I could be wrong.
Okay, you know what? You guys are gonna have to trust me. On my way back,
Yeah, locate is one shot. Sorry, just
I'm
Okay.
gonna do another ping on
no.
the.
Remember. Okay, so you've used one or two charges now.
I've used one. I'm about to use a second. So
Okay.
I'm gonna go just south of the frogs from that location right there.
Okay,
Oh,
from
actually,
there.
wait. before you say anything, let me go here.
Okay.
What? And then I'll circle around to the north to get back to camp. What do I get from there?
From there, you get like that.
From where I was? So it's not in the frogs.
From where you had your thing right this instant, it's pointing that direction.
You're
So
still
if
in
it's
eagle form, right?
I'm still in eagle form and I've still got the wand, but I'm gonna come back and powwow with you guys before I use any more charges.
Make a
Yeah.
quick perception check for me.
Okay.
Okay, when you're flying up above, you see below you a clearing. Right about there, with a bunch of giant turtles in it.
Okay, so I think we may have multiple soul stones right in this area.
That's what it looks like.
There could be one in the frogs. There could be one in the turtles. There could be one farther southeast. So I think I would start with a cautious advance over the river to the frogs, who are hopefully not hostile, and just sit there and sing as we carefully search their place. And then proceed to the turtles, and then proceed further southeast. What do you guys think?
Well, if they're not hostile, why don't we try killing them at range?
If they're not hostile?
If they're not hostile, why do we kill them?
Because they may become hostile, and I'd rather not be in the middle of 20 when I could pick them off
We're
before.
not going to kill them if they're not hostile. Not with a druid in the party. We can kill them as soon as we verify that they're hostile.
They're good
Okay.
now.
And I know they're not like natural woodland creatures, but just on general principle. For all we know, they're talking frogs who are about to solve the grand unified equation through song. So we should at least verify that they're hostile.
I do like this little pudding.
So far, all I'm hearing is me and Alicia. What do
Can you go
Harold?
into? Go ahead.
Well, I'm trying to get an opinion from Harold Ellendahl and
Mm-hmm.
I did ask, how do we peacefully deal with the frogs?
Well, that kind of depends on the frogs.
Yeah, and you did get my opinion. I was the one who wanted to kill them. That's Ellendahl.
Yeah.
Well, they were worm touched. Do we know what that really means?
Specifically, no. Just in general terms, it means that they're magical somehow.
Colwyn, do you have an opinion?
Is there...
He'll have an opinion when I give him one.
Cute. I think we should send maybe a couple of more durable frontline people to see if the frogs are hostile first, and then if they are, either try to get them out of there and deal with the frogs at range, or a lot of fighting the frogs if they're hostile kind of depends on what exactly they can do. So, but essentially, I think we should scout a little bit. of the frogs out first before we really get deep into frog territory.
So let me suggest this. Why don't I do a flight right over the frogs to see what I can see and see if they do anything to me as an eagle. And then Harold and I as the closest. Well, wait a second. Golan, what's your class again?
Paladin?
Paladin. So we could have the two paladins. Or actually, we've got a paladin and a bard, essentially.
Yeah.
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 I
So I'll
think he's
take
gonna
one
paladin.
last flight over the frogs, and then we'll put the paladin. We'll attach the paladin to the end of a 10-foot pole.
Wait, we can't just estimate 10 feet? Why do I have to be on a pole?
No, I
Well-
think if depending on the results of my airborne patrol, I think the paladin takes point. I assume you have the highest hit points in armor class.
I think Harold does, but then I think I'm right after him.
Okay, and we'll go across, the three of us, probably abreast with me in bear form, with the thief and the wizard behind us. But so Jenny, I'm gonna do a couple circles right there, right over the frogs.
Okay.
Do they react at all?
How close is right over?
I'm patrolling right over the singing frogs.
Like, how high up are you?
100 feet.
Okay, they don't seem to notice you, or I mean, they're just doing froggy stuff.
Okay.
They seem to be
So-
swimming around, eating various bugs and things that they find in their little ponds.
And what size are they?
They are medium sized, or about human sized.
Huh.
So very large for frogs.
Okay, I'm going to interject here. Jenny, while he's doing that stuff, we got that staff that I couldn't identify yesterday. I want to
Yeah,
try and
no.
identify it.
Roll.
Is that an Arcanum check?
Yep.
Okay, you guys can do whatever. I'm just figuring out rolls here.
Well, I think we're about to advance
I believe
cautiously
you have
across
like a
the
plus
river.
19.
Yes. Oh.
That it didn't roll. You have to, yeah. You can't put
Slash-
spaces in there.
Yeah, you just rolled a 1.
D20. Oh, I see. 1D20 plus 19.
You certain that is a staff of luck.
Okay.
Do we know that it's a staff of good luck? You got to be careful with magic.
A staff is a magic item. It has 10 charges when fully charged. You can, after resting, spend 3 spell points to basically give it 1 charge each time you rest, if you want to recharge it. But you can spend 1 charge to cast the spell Good Luck. For 2 rolls, you can cast or use 1 charge to cast the spell Bad Luck for 2 rolls. And 2 charges to cast Accuracy plus 4 on someone for 1 minute.
Okay, well, that's good to know. And listens, can you turn into a frog and talk to these frogs?
Actually, I don't think so, because I can't turn into something that small. I could turn into a giant frog. Is that feasible?
So
Yeah,
Lord
you
of
could
the
do that.
Frogs.
Okay.
So you become Lord of the Frogs.
Yeah, we'll see.
So you guys are going to where the frogs are now, right?
Yeah, and I guess I'll be a giant frog.
Everybody can see the map, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Alright, so here you are. What you want to do?
As a giant frog, I apparently have scent. Do I smell anything unusual?
No, it smells swamp.
Smell swamp. Okay, I'm gonna cautiously, and I'm assuming I'm abreast, roughly, of Golwyn and Harold. I'm gonna move all the way into here, unless something stops me.
Alright, when you get up to. Hang on, quit moving things.
Oh, wait a second. I gotta figure out what's hit points and what's spell points.
Are you all three going up together?
I assume the
Yeah,
whole
that was.
party's going. It's not
And
like we're
then-
leaving the rest of them behind.
I will be behind a little bit with my an arrow knocked.
I will move to about there.
That sounds good.
Okay. Alright,
The
well, when
squares are
Harold.
5 feet.
Yeah, the squares are 5 feet. When Harold Goen and Listens get up to about there, you notice that there is another frog kind of hidden in the underbrush not far in front of you. And I need all three of you to make a will save.
A will save.
Now, do I?
Can't spell coruscating, apparently.
So
Can I
these
see
are
that from where I am?
these are actively coruscating, changing electric blue and black patterns on its skin,
Yep.
like a squid.
Yep. Only they're moving
Huh.
very rapidly. You guys managed to look away from the frog before you are fascinated.
Okay. Can Elendil or Lucha see the frog at all?
Yeah, you guys can see it. You're just not close enough to be affected by it quite yet.
So
Okay.
from 15 feet away, which is what we are, correct?
Yep.
I will say hello. Does it respond? And by frog language, I mean actual frog language, not Francais.
Frogs isn't a proper noun. Capitalized. Grogs is the word.
And you guys see me stop. Frog regards me impassively. Yeah, good call. I say, hello? Anybody home? Can you speak, frog?
While he's doing that, I'm going to look at the frog that's kind of a little bit to our southeast, right at the edge of the first southern pond there. And do I see the same kind of patterns going on him?
If you're going to look at the frog, I need you to make a will save.
Well, I'm going to glance to see if we see that
You
kind
still
of.
need to make a will save.
Okay.
You
And
cannot
Daz has
examine
chosen-
it and not look at it. It doesn't work that way.
Daz has chosen to stay behind with the canoe.
Yes.
He does.
Okay.
Okay.
You know, they're still not necessarily hostile. They haven't actually attacked. So the frog just continues. All attempts at communication just bounce.
Yeah, but I'm looking around at all these frogs and I'm thinking, you know, this is like a 45-year-old virgin going into the strip club, right?
All right, Lucha is not fascinated by the frog.
We either leave these guys alone or we eliminate them from range. Is my suggestion.
Well, I wonder whether we could simply leave them alone.
Well, we're thinking one of the Soulstones is around here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except
How
as
much-
a potential source of food.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's not speaking back to me, that's for sure.
No.
It's interested in another frog as food. Barbaric. How much AoE do we have?
I have 3 potions of ignition, so basically that's 3 fireballs. And we'd have to get them together. So really,
Yeah.
They're not actually hostile yet.
Well, even if they're not hostile to us, if one of the Soulstones is here, they're because they're hypnotic.
Scout.
Yeah, their presence is a threat to us at that point.
Yeah, because if we're just going to be standing there hypnotized, doesn't matter how nice they are.
Unless someone wants to look at frogs until they get hypnotized to see what happens. In an effort to confirm that it's not that big of a deal, I think that we should
Well, yeah, but
probably
how do
treat
we-
it as
How do
Yeah,
I know we would get unhypnotized?
exactly.
You'd probably just stand there fascinated. Yeah.
You might end up like Narcissus.
Well, I think we need to start searching around. See if we can find the stone without looking at frogs.
Okay, I'm going to start to scout as a giant bat, which means I can use blind sense. First of all, I will look at a frog with blind sense. Does that carry a risk of fascination with it?
No.
Okay.
You're not aware of the pattern when you are just using your blind sense.
Okay. Then let's say from 50 feet off the ground. First of all, before I do any of this, I'll communicate the whole plan as a human and see if everybody thinks this is advisable. I intend to scout the area with blind sense, looking for anything other than just frogs and ponds. From about 50 feet high, scout the whole area.
Okay. You look around the area and you don't see anything other than just frogs. You do spot quite a few more frogs that are concealed, though, that you had not noticed before.
So lots of concealed frogs. Okay, I'll come back and report to the rest of the party. I'm not sure how we figure out, unless we're willing to use a bunch of charges off the wand. It's not clear to me how we find the Soulstones, since using blind sense, there doesn't appear to be anything here except for frogs and ponds and swamp.
Okay, so Jenny, question here: with my ability for creating wands and stuff like that, crafting wands and staffs, can I recharge the wand? Like while we're moving, would I know enough that I could recharge the wand?
Yes, but you'd need materials that you don't have.
Okay.
But the wand is rechargeable. So by materials, are those materials like back at the village?
Yeah, you'd basically need a crafting lab or a crafting set.
But we don't need to worry nearly as much about draining the wand if we can recharge it.
Well, the question is, say I have all the materials, and knowing that I have 43 spell points, how many charges can I restore? Like, is it 3 spell points for a single charge? Can I only do it once? I'm just trying to figure out, if we had to go back to town overnight for me to recharge the wand, how full could we get the wand again?
Basically, to recharge a wand, what you do is you take the number of charges that you want to recharge, and you would have to pay that price basically in materials to recharge it. It's recharging a wand doesn't require any spell casting.
Okay. So, okay. I mean, that's always an option, but we also got to make sure we don't deplete the wand totally.
So I would propose to use 3 or 4 charges right here. As a bat, I would use one from about where we are, and I would use one from about there, and I would use one from about there.
Okay, can I just point something out here real quick?
Yeah.
All right, the frogs are here. You used the wand here, and it was pointing south. If there was a soulstone with the frogs, it would have been pointing back toward the frogs.
For sure?
Yeah.
Unless there's a soulstone with the turtles.
Right.
Well, I
That's
think
what I'm trying
he
to find
used.
out if there are multiple soulstones here.
But didn't he use a soulstone like basically right on top of the turtles, and it pointed southeast?
Well, yeah, he's
So
like
that's
right. These arrows are me drawing. It's not, it's not like super exact. But he was like right there when he used it.
Okay.
So I mean, you're not.
The previous session's arrows, could those have been pointing at the turtles?
No, they're pointing too far to the southwest.
So either we've got multiple soulstones or it's moved.
Yes.
So yeah, from your initial ones up that are up here, yes, those could not be pointing at whatever's down here. But the ones down here that you've used could all be pointing to the same spot.
So they could have been, the ones up near the tower could have been pointing at the frogs.
Or it could have been pointing short of the frogs.
So let's use one charge right here.
Yeah, I agree. Because that one either points at the frogs or the turtles or back to the tower.
Exactly.
All right, now you're gonna make me frickin' count. All right. If you use a charge here, it is still pointing.
And by the divine powers that were just like smashed into our head, someplace right around there, there's 2 soul stones equidistant.
So you
Just
guys are
about.
basically right here. It is still pointing in this direction.
Okay, I must be missing something because I don't see
I didn't see
anything
anything
changing
either.
on my map.
I didn't see where you were pointing either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you draw a green arrow from where we used the wand to the direction it's going?
Roughly. Actually, it's more like that. If you can see it.
I don't think we're seeing your green arrow.
Yeah. I'm not
Oh,
sure
I
why.
think I'm on the wrong map, Blair. Hang on.
Yeah, we're on the overhead map. You may be on the map with all the frogs on it. We only see one frog
All right, can you see
on
it
our
now?
map.
No, we're still on the frog map. Or on the big map.
Yeah. You suppose it's busted? We need to like whack it against a tree a couple times. Okay, I see a new green arrow that's thinner than the other arrows, but
Oh,
it does not go from where we were. I mean, it doesn't go from
There.
the.
Now it's where you guys are. But
Okay.
that's the way it's pointing.
Okay, but we were here, right?
well, I thought we were doing it from.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's-
From there.
You said you were doing it from where you are with the frogs, which is right here
No,
on
no,
this
no.
corner.
No. It was from Lucha's
Oh.
ping up there.
Yeah, up here. I'm trying to move my character where I was talking, but
Yeah. So from where my character is, we were going to
Okay.
do it there to see whether it would point back to the tower, to the frogs, or to the turtles.
From there, it is pointing that way.
Aha.
I say we get that one first.
Yeah.
And in fact, now that you come up here, you can see that there is a sort of a pond up here.
So there's got to be multiple soul stones.
mm-hmm.
Or we are discovering in the worst way possible that we have a broken wand.
Well,
There
is
are
there a-
7 total stones we're out here to retrieve.
Yeah.
Let's start heading that way.
Okay.
All right, so you
Mhm.
guys are gonna go up over there.
Yep.
Are you gonna go basically toward the pond?
Well, considering our experience with the frogs, I'm going to suggest that we may want to do the blind sense thing again to see if there's anything there.
Okay. I'll scout the area as a giant bat. My blind sense only goes 40 feet. So I'll be in the tops of the trees, basically.
Alrighty.
And from 40 feet up, will they be able to maintain visual contact with me?
Yeah, the trees are pretty loose from here.
Okay. So I'll do a couple circles and then come back to rest the group, which I assume is the canoe. What do I see?
All right, new map. Can everybody see it okay?
Yep.
Yep.
So basically you find this this pond in the middle of the forest there, and in the middle you see what looks to be like an extremely deceased corpse just sort of floating there. I'm assuming listens is like up here at this point.
Okay. I'll come back to the group and
The
tell them
water
everything I saw.
in the center is extremely deep.
And the corpse is floating?
Yeah.
Huh.
Corpses float, don't they?
Depending on how dead they are.
Yeah, it depends.
Depending on how dead they are.
How long ago did these guys disappear?
It's been a couple of months or so.
They shouldn't be floating.
Especially if they were wearing gear.
Depends on if they
Well,
had
yeah.
any gear that might make them float.
Well, since it's really deep, I say go check that out there, alligator boy.
Yeah. I was figuring that's where this was going. Does anybody have like a rope and a grapple they want to toss at it?
Harold, go ahead and roll perception.
Ooh, so how, that's 5 feet per, right? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it seems like we should be able to get close enough to snag it with a rope and pull it in.
Yep, you probably can.
This looks like the closest to the body, if counting correctly.
Okay. I mean,
And I do have 50 feet of rope.
I'm mindful of the old Boy Scout lifeguard reach, throw, go. So if we can get it with a rope, I'd rather that than going and getting it.
Yeah, well, if we have 50 feet of rope, we could give the grapple end to listens and like bird
Who
form or
has the
something.
grapple?
I do not have a grapple.
We don't have a grapple.
I
assume
did
you
not.
have a grapple
I
listed.
did not think to do that. I don't remember one being listed for sale.
Yeah, I don't recall one
No,
either.
they don't make a lot of metal tools around here.
Well, we could tie the rope around the corpse, but then someone would have to
Go out there and get it. Okay.
go out there themselves.
If you guys will position here so that you're in weapons range, I'll turn into an alligator and just go get it.
Well,
But the thing is, if something attacks me from below, I honestly don't know what you can do.
Yeah, that is the concern.
So is that where we're going?
Could I use Divine Bond to summon something aquatic? Or is that restricted to horses?
Um, we haven't settled what type of mount you have. I'm assuming you have a horse and not just an aquatic, because we're not going to be in the swamp forever.
It was worth a try.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, if you want to move your guy, move him now.
Okay, hang on. I'm just wondering whether we can create or, we have a bunch of trees around here. Can we create a rudimentary grapple?
I mean, yeah, you could get a forked branch pretty easily.
All I got to do is either we have to toss it and grab it, which is some sort of athletics roll, or if that just doesn't work, I'm happy to go drop a grapple or a tangle on top of it, and then we could haul it in.
Well, I can cast a cantrip called Launch, which, anything less than 5 pounds, which, a bunch of twigs and branches and stuff should be less than 5 pounds. And I can launch it up to 500 feet.
Throwing it's not the problem. It's only like 30 feet away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's fashion a makeshift grapple and try and haul it in.
A 6-year-old girl could throw that far.
Is that an athletics check?
I'm gonna say it's actually gonna be an attack roll to hit it.
Okay.
So ranged attack roll, which would be your base attack bonus plus your base attack bonus plus your dex -4 for using an improvised weapon.
So for me, that would be I would have a +7. Who has better than that?
Ellendal, are you on top of that rock?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a dead body. It has like a -6 AC.
No, we're not worried about the body. We're worried about what's lurking underneath it.
Do we have anybody that's in case something want us to get the body?
Harold, why are you pointing at the rocks?
Because it's actually closer than the shore, I think.
Eels?
Now that he points them out, you do see some extremely large eels hanging out along the bottom.
Okay. Well, if nobody has better than, sorry, that would be a +5. Anybody have better than a +5?
For which? For what roll?
For a ranged attack roll.
I most certainly don't.
What was it? Ranged attack -4 for improvised weapon?
Yeah.
I don't think I have better than.
Why is my hold on?
Okay, I will
Yeah,
change
mine
it.
is. Yeah, mine would only be +3.
I will change into a chimpanzee since that gives me a +2, and try and snag it with the improvised grapple.
Alright, rolled it. Yeah, you managed to get it, no problem.
and pulling it in towards me. I assume it just pulls in nicely. Yay. Okay, and we'll drag it on
Yep.
on shore and search the body.
The minute you get to the shore, it basically disintegrates into a bunch of yuck. And this does kind of look like an adventurer because where are the freaking eels? You find an ironwood crossbow, a +1 longsword, and a masterwork chain shirt.
Huh.
And no soulstone.
Huh. So the soulstone is probably in the lake or in one of the eels.
Yes.
Let's divvy up this stuff. Does anybody actually want one of those items, I assume?
Not it.
I have to
Well,
imagine a mess.
I'm gonna detect magic on them.
Oh, if nobody else wants the sword, I guess I'll use that as my off hand.
I don't think the sword's better for me than a chain just because of how
Yeah, I don't need the
Divine
sword or the
weapons are better.
crossbow or the shirt, chain shirt. Everybody has better, huh? It's all sales material.
Oh yeah. No, my stuff should be better than a masterwork chain shirt. Stuff.
Well, and we already know that the ironwood stuff is valuable, so we'll definitely take it. It just becomes party loot when we can sell it back in town.
It's 1 fortification. It takes away 1/8.
Oh, and when you're detecting magic, in addition to finding that the longsword is magical, you notice that there is a glimmer at the deep end of the water.
It's like right in the middle of the lake or pond or whatever this is.
Nope.
Jenny said a masterwork chain shirt.
I typed it in chat.
Oh, I see it. Sorry.
Hey, listen, in your giant bat form,
But it would be.
can you pick up one of those frogs?
It depends on how big a giant. I doubt it. Giant bats are, well, they're large, so maybe.
I'm just thinking, picking up one of those frogs, flying him over here, and dropping him with the eels. And he's either going to mesmerize the eels, or he's going to distract the eels long enough to go get whatever the magical item is at the bottom of the lake. I mean, just a thought.
Yeah, I'm sure the frog would love that.
Yeah.
Well, the frog isn't a voting party member.
Can we mark on the map where the glow seemed to be come from?
Yeah, it's fine.
And that's just with detect magic that we get this glow. So right in the center.
Pretty much.
And is it like, does it seem like it's on the bottom of the lake?
Yes.
And it's not moving.
Yes, it's not moving.
Are these regular looking giant eels? They're not coruscating or singing or glowing.
Well, they're bright pink and blue, and they have unusually large fins for eels.
Survival?
Yeah. Let me do a survival to see whether they're a natural thing.
Roll it. But that's where you see the glow.
Whoops. That should be a 27. Oh, sorry, 31. I was looking at somebody else's.
Yeah, you don't recognize them in particular. They could be a little bit corrupted.
Some sort of magical beast. I assume you guys want me to go get the whatever's glowing thing.
Well, so far you're the only one who can breathe underwater, so
Yeah, I'm the only one who can get it. Let me. What is the fastest thing that swims?
what happens if we throw like a branch? Or better yet, I am going to use just as a test, and I forgot the cantrip name, but I can basically take something up to a few pounds. I think it was 5 per level.
Float? Buoyancy?
Mm,
Yeah, you have to touch it to cast that on it.
no, what I was thinking is you said that this skeleton basically, once we got it right up to the shore, it became this ooey gooey goopy mess, right?
Yeah, it disintegrated.
I'm just wondering whether there's enough there, like if I took Scoop and it takes a gallon of liquid and then dump it over where the eels are, whether the eels will chase after that.
Or disintegrated or whatever right after we took it out of the water. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't strike me as particularly.
I'm going to
Normal.
transform into a large swamp barracuda, which is the fastest thing I can find, and zip down and get whatever that glowing thing is and come back.
Do you want to try to sneak?
As a barracuda,
And how big do you want to be?
I'm looking at the standard large barracuda. So large.
Okay.
And I don't see any bonuses to stealth, but I do have stealth. So yeah, I'll try and stealth until it's clear that that's not working.
All
and
right,
then
give
I'll
it a roll.
zip. Where's my stealth? Stealth is +10. And then I've got a +2 in the wilderness. Is there any bonus for being wild shaped?
No.
Okay.
Well, you get to add your bonus dex.
Right. So that's going to be a plus total of 13.
How big is this thing? Hang on, before you do that, how big is this soulstone?
The ones you found so far were about the size of a fist. You have no idea how big this one is because you can't see it.
So I'm stealthing to the bottom as a giant barracuda. and hops back onto shore as a human. Here you go, guys.
I think you managed to do that pretty stealthily.
So is this the Soulstone? I hope.
Yep.
Yay!
Sweet.
That's 2. We now have 2 Soulstones.
Back to the big map.
Okay. See? Easy.
And how many we had to turn over? All but 1, correct?
There's supposed
2.
to be like 9, or is it 7?
7, and we're keeping 5.
Yeah.
So we've fulfilled everything right now to get paid. Everything else is a bonus.
We've found 2 of the 7.
Right, but we get to keep 5.
Which means we
Yeah.
turn into, and we have to.
If we find 20 out here, then yes, we turn in 2 and walk away with 18.
Ruins, tree, or turtles?
So about the only thing we know for sure is it's not frogs. I think turtles.
I do
Okay.
think turtles is probably the best.
All right.
Can we-
So, Lucha, can you tell what kind of sword this is?
Yeah, I'll examine the sword. Arcanum.
Roll it. You don't have to warn me. Just roll it and type that you rolled.
Well, no, I just want to confirm that it's an Arcanum roll.
Yep.
Oh, never mind. I can't. Longsword, I would not be able to finesse, right? Or would I?
Right. No, you can't finesse a longsword.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know
so I'm not experienced.
everything about this sword now.
Do we want to do another charge on the wand, or just are we confident enough we can just wade into the turtles?
Well, we tested close to the turtles.
I'd say we have to risk with the turtles because, if we only had roughly 20 charges, we've already blown 5, so we're down to 15. We
had
found
20
2 of the
charges,
7
down to
soul
25.
stones, which means we got 5 more to go.
Yeah, I concur. We need to start conserving. And
Did-
I'm not going
did
to
you guys-
count on recharging until we actually do it.
Did you guys hear what I said about the charges?
Say it again.
We're down to 25 charges.
Okay.
The wand had 27. You've used 5, so you have 22 left.
Yeah.
Oh, then I missed 3 that got used. Okay.
Okay.
I will update.
Let's go sneak a peek at the turtles.
Alright, you guys head on down the creek to look at the turtles. And do you find
Black screen.
Yeah, I've got to get everybody put on here from the big map.
Yeah, I was joking.
All right. Looks like we got another dead body.
Better than a blue screen.
Yeah.
So the dark brown is marshy. Is that what that is?
It is mud.
Okay.
Navigable mud? Like mud we can walk on, or mud we probably don't want to walk
You
on?
won't know that until you try to walk on it. It is mud.
And are the turtles natural?
Apart from being extremely large, they seem to be just turtley. They're mostly just kind of chilling out and napping.
Okay. Let me find my...
everybody can see it now and everything?
I can.
I advance. And in turtle, say, excuse me, fellow turtles. Don't mean to bother you. I just need to get that body. Any response? Hisses in aggression, or because he's pissed that I woke him up from his nap?
You're getting a sense of kind of this my rock.
Okay, I will carefully avoid the other turtles. Advancing, and I assume as a turtle I'm big enough to get to the body and pull it out. I would suggest you guys hang about where Elendal is and not come closer in case they do decide to get territorial. And unless something happens, I will drag myself and the body back here so we can examine
This
what
is
I've
a lot
got.
easier with a druid. Do me a favor, make a wild empathy
Unless the
check.
body disintegrates or some such. Is this
Make a wild empathy check to not piss the turtles off.
a wild empathy check? Okay, gotta figure out where that is.
It should be on your sheet, but I think it's like a +3.
No, it is on my sheet. It's down in the... There it is. Wild empathy +3. So just a straight +3?
Yep.
How possessive do they feel about this body?
Turtle is typing.
I will pull in my arms and legs.
What's your
and
touch
head.
AC?
Touch AC when wild shaped is 16.
It misses. But it
Okay.
needs you guys to roll initiative.
Okay, where am I when it spits at me?
You
Go ahead
are
and
right
look.
about there.
Okay. Initiative. I will give up my lightning reaction for a +4 on initiative.
And it looks like Lessons is first.
Okay. How soft is this mud?
It's difficult terrain. Basically, each square of movement counts as 2 squares. but other than that, it's not like otherwise seriously impeding you.
Okay, I'm going to spend 2 of my 3 actions to turn into a Black Panther, using the stats of a Jaguar. So my speed is now 40, and on this train that's 20, correct?
Right.
And then with my last action, I'm going to move to the body and try and grab it. 5, 10, 15, so about there.
Okay. You can grab the body and the soulstone at the same time.
Okay, excellent. And then if nothing else happens, I'm just going to book it out of there on my next round. But we'll see.
All right, Lucha, you're up next.
I'm gonna cast Shadow on listens.
He's out in the middle of broad daylight, so there's really no shadows for him to hide in at this point.
Okay, that's what I was kind of wondering. How big are these turtles?
They're large, so they're the size of a horse.
Yeah. I'm gonna hold off at the moment.
Okay.
Is that a skipping my turn or is that a delay?
A delay.
Okay.
I kind of watching what the turtles are doing. If I'm gonna see one starting to hack towards them,
All right.
then I'll do something.
Golwyn, what do you want to do? Golwyn, you there?
Is anybody hearing Goldwyn?
I am not.
Can anyone hear me?
There you
And
go.
now.
Okay, now.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, that was weird. I'm gonna try to move a little bit forward to sort of put myself somewhat between the squishies and the turtles,
Okay.
and I think that's about all I'm gonna be able to do. I don't want to go too deep in the mud and risk becoming a liability.
Okay. Alrighty, so we got turtles. Let's see, this turtle will move to there and try to bite listens.
My actual AC, when wild shaped, by the way, I will, if it's a choice between getting bitten and holding onto this, I will drop my burden if that's going to hamper me. My AC is 19.
It cannot hit the broadside of a barn. And the one over here is going to glob at Golwyn. So Golwyn, what's your touch AC?
My touch AC, 13.
Hits you on the nose.
I got your nose.
All right.
Only us old folks get that.
You take 8 poison damage, and I'm going to need you to roll a reflex save. Okay, you are not entangled.
That's good to know. I need you to please become... There we go.
let's see, this turtle. We'll move up to there and glob at listens.
16. Touch AC.
Once one starts to move towards listens.
Sorry, 17, Jenny, in wild shape because of the extra dex.
It rolled a 3, so it doesn't matter.
Should I have a value for deflection in here? Or
No,
is my
because
deflection
you don't
0?
have a deflection bonus yet.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I was on the right page.
Okay. So what do you want to do, Lucha?
Never mind, because I just read assault of force is close. It's not ranged. So I'm assuming close is hand to hand.
Close is 25 feet plus 5 feet per level.
So I can get 40 feet. He's still too far away, though.
Well, you could move.
Yeah.
Let's see. This turtle up here globs at Golwyn. Doing a further 4 poison damage and another reflex save, please.
You knew this when you signed up. This is the life of a noble paladin, getting globbed at by large turtles.
You know, I didn't imagine specifically this.
Alright, so Golwyn is now entangled. Which means he moves at half speed, cannot run or charge, and takes a -2 penalty to attack rolls, skill checks, AC, and reflex saves.
So this turtle up here,
Yeah?
I am going to do an assault of force on him.
Okay.
And I am going to add extra damage. So that's 1 point. And I'll add 2 points to the damage. I'm just trying to find where the damage is.
The bonus damage will be equal to your casting stat modifier.
Okay. I don't think would that be? I guess it's going to be an intelligence.
Yeah. But listens, you take 2 damage on a reflex save, and Golwyn gets hit 1 more time.
Okay. Reflex.
For another 3 damage.
Alright.
Lucha, what are you rolling?
Oh, that was the attack to hit him.
You don't need to make an attack roll unless you did you take the specific penalty that means you require an attack roll?
I didn't know there would be a penalty.
You can get a -1 modifier to your cost if you make it require an attack roll to hit. Otherwise, you just cast the spell on them, and they get a
Okay,
saving
so I'll
throw.
just cast the spell on them.
All right.
Okay.
Oh wow, and he actually made the reflex save. So what's half of the damage?
just there. Hang on. So damage is dealing double your casting stat. Force damage. Save is for half. And I tripled it. So that should be 18. So 9 points. Is that right?
Sounds about right. If you got basically a +6 bonus from your int,
Yeah.
double
Okay.
would be 12, triple would be 18.
Yep.
I've forgotten how to put myself in here in turn order.
I listed you in there, but you can edit the number if you want to.
I'm only seeing the turtle.
Yeah, that's all
Yeah,
I see too.
Yeah, I only see turtle.
Weird.
Okay. As long as you're tracking it.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know why it's not showing you guys. Maybe because I had the counters from another page. I don't know. But I've got it. All right. So Listens just barely manages to not be entangled. Lucha damages that turtle, and it's Elendal's turn.
All right, so at this point, all of the turtles are aggressive, right?
Yep.
All right. Throwing an oil of ignition here.
Okay. And what's the DC on that? Does it have a reflex save?
14. Says reflex 14 for half.
Listen, can you fly back to town, buy a whole bunch of those, and fly back?
Yeah, I could.
So they actually both fail it. So roll your damage.
What did I do wrong?
Slash roll.
Slash roll. There you go. We may have roast turtle for dinner tonight.
Well, they're quite injured. All right, Harold is next. Did you want to do anything else, Elendal? Sorry.
I've got time to do more.
Well, it's one action to get the oil out and one to throw it. So you've got one action left, basically. You could move. You could make an attack if you've got like a throwing weapon ready or something like that.
Get out more oil for next time.
Yeah, I'll get another flask out and get ready for next time.
Alrighty.
Just for future reference, do we play that? Our party does not get hurt by the stuff that we do.
Okay, let me see here. What's the DC on that?
I think that depends on how convincing the shield turtle shell is.
I don't know, but I want some of whatever he's smoking.
Yeah.
Do you really want to do a sexy hiss? Is my question.
We haven't talked about friendly fire. I assume there is such a thing as friendly fire.
Okay, the two furthest away turtles up here.
Yeah.
Do not seem interested, but the rest of them are all staring at you raptly and not doing anything now.
Oh, sweet. That was a good idea.
Let me reread that because I'm not sure you can use that in combat. Let me just double check. Okay, yeah, it doesn't say anything, so.
So if I understand the Bard Fascinate power, they will just stand there doing nothing as long as he's singing or until they're attacked?
Pretty much, yep.
Okay. So the two that got bombed, are they still lit on fire and they're going to unfascinate when they take damage next round?
No, they are not lit on fire. They don't have
Okay.
any like clothing or anything on that can burn, so they are just.
So unless we
singed.
do something, they will stand there fascinated while we just outrun them.
Except for the two in the back.
Yeah, the two in the back are not fascinated. But
Well,
the ones
yeah,
all
but
closest to you here are.
we just have to outrun two turtles.
Your main issue is going to be getting Golan out of there because he is currently entangled.
Yes.
You out here to do
Now.
Save every round to get unentangled.
Yes, it is.
And can I use my flame sword to try and help unentangle him without hurting him?
You're gonna need like water to help unentangle him, because he's covered in basically sticky goo.
Okay.
No. Try the flame sword. Just use the flat of the blade, but you're gonna have to swing it really hard.
You could set him on fire if you really want to.
There have been days.
Oh, the life of a paladin.
What race are you?
Me?
He's Elvish.
I'm an elf, yeah.
Alright, so it's Listen's turn again here.
Okay, so I was going to do a 5 foot.
Hang on, because I still had one action left to do.
Okay.
You can't take your actions separated like that. You either take them all at once or that.
Okay, no, that's good to know. I thought we could.
Yeah.
No, you take them when it's your turn. If you decide to act, you take all your actions.
So I don't need to do a
fair
5
enough.
foot step. So he would get an attack of opportunity. So what I was thinking is I would have to do a 5 foot step and then move to avoid an attack of opportunity. But because he's fascinated, I don't have to do that, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Do I still have the soul stone and the body in my grip?
Yep.
Okay. Can I just do a double move?
You can do a triple move and use all 3 of your actions to move if you want to.
Okay. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. And I'll end there with the soul stone and the body. And I'm done.
Alright, it is Golan's turn. What would you like to do? You can make a strength check to try to get out of the entangle if you want to. But it takes your whole round. Or you can just move at half speed.
I think I'll move.
Would actually be quarter speed because of the difficult terrain and the entangle, correct?
Right.
Yes. So I can. Does that round up or down? Because that's each move being a square and a half, right?
Right.
Yeah, so does that round to 2 squares or 1? Or do I just have to move in intervals of 3 squares?
It basically just moves in intervals of 3 squares.
Okay.
So that would be basically 2 actions to move 3 squares if you wanted to. You could move to the point where you'd be out of the mud. Pretty much right next to the listens.
Yeah. I think I'm going to do that for... That's all 3 of my actions, right?
Yep.
Because like here. Yeah.
Alright, and then Lucha is next. He went right before the turtles.
The turtles are fascinated except for the 2 in the back, and they're way too far away to really do anything. You know what? Again, I am going to hold off, but if the 2 turtles in the back start advancing to the point where I could hit them, I'm going to cast my force belts again, and I'll do it 3 times.
Okay. Let's see these turtles up here. One of them will glob at Elendal. What's your touch AC, Elendal?
Hold on a sec.
Adam's yelling at me from the other room that it says 17.
All right, I'll believe him.
Which the turtle actually hits you. For 2 damage, and I need a reflex save. And then the other turtle will also glob at you because you're the closest now. And it misses completely.
I can't get my... Hold on. I'm trying to get my sheet up, and for some reason, I can't. Why is it? Okay, now I do. No, that's not what I want. There it is. All right, reflex. Let me find that.
Did every turtle have to make a will save versus Harold's DC to avoid fascination? And they all missed it?
Except for the 2 in the back.
Wow. What's the
And
range on that?
You are not entangled. It's 90 feet.
Wow.
Alright, so, Elendal, it's your turn.
I am going to come over here.
Alrighty, Harold. Assuming you're going to maintain the fascinate. Do you want to move also? I think you have enough of an action to still move. Basically, when you get to the edge of the map, you're going to be out of their range and they won't be able to do anything. And they don't seem particularly interested in actually chasing you.
That's about as far as I can move.
Alrighty. Listens, you're up.
Listens is going to head 120 feet straight west with the body and the soul stone.
All right, so basically you get out of range.
Yep. I would communicate my plan, but I'm a panther.
Golwyn, you're up.
I think I can use all 3 of my actions to also leave.
Okay. Lucha.
Same. But I'll tell everybody to head. I'll tell everybody to hide under a tree, like head towards a tree.
All right, Elendal. Basically, let's see. Can the turtles glob at anybody? Because they are next. No, everybody's out of range, so good enough. We are done.
Okay, I'm going to heal myself. Who else is injured?
I am injured.
Has everybody
I've
updated
heard.
their...
Yes.
And I am slightly injured.
I see... Golan, what are you at?
Hang on, let me go back
is
to
it-
the total page
it-
so that you can, because it doesn't preserve like hit points across the pages.
Oh, it doesn't? It looked like it was for me. I'm at of 36.
How many points down?
15.
Okay, that's 2 spell points. And who else is down?
I'm down 2 hit points.
Okay, so everybody's up to full, and I'm down 4 spell points. Nobody else was injured, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Everybody's up to full, and I should be at 35 spell points.
And that's your third soulstone.
Actually, I'll be at 33 spell points, and I'll get lightning reactions back up.
And is there anything on the body? And we should start, making note of kind of, what the bodies look like, so we can say, one was this and one was that.
Well, 2 of them, we really couldn't tell anything from the first body. The second body totally disintegrated.
So we've got a skeleton, a bag of goop.
Right, but we should be able to tell what that bag of goop was. Was it human sized? Was it,
We could
Saw
tell
it
it was a
floating in the wall.
halfling or a human or a half-orc,
Right.
but in case somebody's interested.
This guy appeared to actually have been a halfling.
All right. And does he have anything on him?
Yeah, she typed it in chat.
Oh.
Ooh, magic thieves tools.
It looks like all my stuff. It's probably what it is.
You died?
He stole it from me earlier, is what happened, I think.
Who can ID this stuff?
You
Lucha.
might want a different career than if he stole it from you.
Yeah, if you want to ID it, roll your Arcanum.
That's what I just
That's my
did.
story.
Okay, the thieves' tools are +2 thieves' tools.
I'll put those in my pocket.
The leather armor is +1 leather armor. And the goggles are goggles of minute seeing that give you a +5 to perception checks to find traps and otherwise search for hidden objects.
Now, are the goggles, would that still stay with Listens while he's flying around?
Is he
Looking?
detecting traps while he's flying around?
Generally not. My detecting traps is actually, I think it's a trickery roll or something like that.
Well, if he's flying around, I think it's probably going to be too high up to find anything that's hidden anyway.
Right. Yeah, finding traps is a trickery, which
Finding
I have
traps is
no.
actually perception, but it's only to that roll. It's not to general perception checks.
Ah,
Okay. So I'll let everybody know what I just discovered.
All right. So, does anybody want the armor?
not I.
Not
I do not.
All right. Can I use that armor since they were a halfling?
Yes.
I've already got +1 other armor, so I'm fine there. So I don't want that. I will take the thieves' tools, though.
What thieves' tools?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'll give him the thieves' tools.
And you can have the
+2.
goggles too if you want.
Yeah, you're the only one that can
Yep.
use this stuff, or you are certainly the person
He's
best suited to use it.
he's the best to use it.
So you're gonna try using the wand again to see if you can find the path to the next soulstone?
Probably
Well,
best.
we are down at the turtles here, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So
That
then
was
we all
plus-
saw that there was an arrow pointing kind of southeast. So I'm going to suggest that Listens uses his eagle form and goes to like here and uses the soul stone or uses the wand.
So did somebody take the? I'm tracking party loot. Did somebody take the leather armor +1, or
It became party loot.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
party loot. I already got.
so
That was,
everybody has better? But the goggles of Minute Seeing and the thieves' tools went to Elendal.
yeah.
Okay.
And that was +5 to find traps, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead with the eagle plan.
So I'm suggesting that you come someplace down like here, kind of down in this area someplace, and use the wand to triangulate again. And on that note, I have got to go check on supper. So do you guys all mind if we take like a 5-minute break?
That's fine.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay. Back in 5.
Alrighty.
Case you want to pole dance?
Yeah.
Well, that sucked. Just realized I was not broadcasting sound. Poop.
And now we can adjourn to the campsite and camp. And we don't have. We're down to 21 charges on the wand. Yeah. And we've got 4 soul stones. We know there's at least 3 more out there, but we don't know where they are, although they're probably in the general vicinity.
We can, in the morning, let's just use a charge and see where we're going.
Yeah, that
Yep.
makes sense.
All right, you guys make camp, cast shelter, do all that stuff. You eat food, you rest, get your spell points back, etc. Nothing much happens.
Wake up the next morning, cast lightning reaction, and off we go. Well, it's always good when resting is restful.
Back to the big map.
Yeah, let's see if we can find any more of these things.
So, Jenny, are you able to take away the arrows, the green arrows?
I was literally already doing that.
Okay.
Oops.
Do you want to do it right from here?
Yeah.
The wand,
Sure.
I mean. Okay.
So you're going to use the wand from here?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, sorry, I was talking to myself. Jenny, can we put an X on the places or something to indicate where we found soulstones so far?
Okay, why?
Just so we know where we've looked. I mean, what I don't want to do is go back to the turtles and say, oh, we need to search around here because we've already searched around there.
That arrow is pointing directly at the gnome territory.
Yep.
That also tells us, unless it's in the lake between us and the gnome territory, it also tells us there's no soul stone by the glowing tree and no soul stone by the abandoned farm.
Right. Do we want to go check out the tree while we're here?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind checking out both just to see what's there.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Let's check out the tree then.
I would say based on our direction and everything that we're supposed to go, let's check out the farm first, then we head south, and then we can head southeast.
One
It
big
kind
group.
Yeah, kind of follows that flow.
Okay.
All right, well, move the canoe where you're going because I don't know what you're talking about now.
And bear with me, I'm grabbing another bolus too.
Okay.
You know, you don't get 30 pounds overweight by marrying a bad cook.
All right, basically, you guys tromp up there. You find, yes, it is an abandoned farm. Looks to have been maybe 5-6 years abandoned, you'd guess. Roll me perception if you want to like search around the area real quick. Okay, you you find that although the buildings are trashed and they have fallen in, there's nothing left value left. You do find that there is a cellar with a locked door still intact.
Okay, well, the first thing I'm going to do before we go into the cellar is detect magic.
Nada.
Okay.
No unusual sense.
No. Well, it smells very dusty. It's been abandoned for a while.
What animal has superior smell sense?
I usually use panther.
I'm just
Yellow
wondering,
dog?
like, if there's rats or something in the cellar, whether you'd be able to smell them.
Yeah,
Before-
animals or animal droppings or something like that, I would be able to smell.
Yeah, you're not picking up anything animal. It smells very much like, remains of people.
Yeah, I will.
We're not hearing anything either, right?
Nope, not here.
Remains of people. Hang on. Remains of people.
No,
in
not
places-
corpses of people. Like people's leftover shit.
Okay.
You do not find any traps. The door is locked, however.
Well, somebody needs to test out his new tools that he got instead of
There you
being a slacker.
All right. After some fumbling around, you do manage to get the door open. It is quite dusty and it doesn't really smell foul. In fact, when you get the door open, you now get a waft of air that smells suspiciously alcoholic.
Huh. Like on purpose created alcohol or something inadvertently fermented
Like
down here?
distilled booze.
Huh.
Hmm.
Okay.
And it's a very shallow cellar. It's just basically a pit dug into the ground. And it is full of barrels of what looks to be sugar and a whole bunch of bottles of rum.
What is this? What do we do with this? How valuable is it? Anybody know?
No clue.
I'm not sure
But it's
what the
aged
price
at
would
least
be.
5.
Call it just a raw profession check to figure out what it is, unless you have like profession alcohol. Well, actually, Lucha has an appropriate profession, so he could roll it to price it.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Hang on. I'm just trying to remember what that profession is. One day I'll sort out my spell sheet or my character sheet. Abilities.
Just roll your profession, basically.
But I'm not sure what my plus would be to that.
It's the same for all of your profession skills. It's literally what it says
Plus
next
5,
to your
okay.
profession. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. You estimate that this would probably be worth about 2 gold in total.
It's a lot of encumbrance.
Yeah. I mean, we could haul it back to the canoe.
Nope. As a matter of fact, I'm telling everybody to get out and lock it up.
Okay.
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 Does everybody get out?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, I make very subtle points to Dax.
Oh.
Right.
Good point.
We got an alcoholic in our
Smart.
midst.
Smart.
Okay. Yeah, that was a misstep avoided. Okay, down to the tree.
Now
All right.
the question The question I have, Kimmy, was Dax in any position to be able to see?
No, he's
What
right
was
back
in
in the
there?
boat.
Yeah,
He's
we
sitting
let
well
him,
back in the boat.
leave him to watch the boat.
Okay.
But we can always come back to this place later.
Yeah, can make payment for him. I may want to trade that rum for, some of his spells.
All right, when you find the tree, it is a huge fallen tree, easily 25 feet across the trunk. It's big. And it is all rotten out on the inside, and you find that it is full of grubs about the size of your thumb that are all glowing very brightly.
Non-natural.
Yeah, you think these are a little bit magical.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to assume that me casting Detect Magic is not going to do any good because all the grubs would be detected as magical, correct?
Magical creatures don't detect as magic unless they are like actively casting spells. If they're just innately magical, they don't show up as particularly
Okay.
magic.
Good to know. So I'm going to Detect Magic.
Don't find anything interesting. It just a brightly glowing grubs.
Can I roll a survival to tell what these are?
Go ahead and roll it.
Survival.
They look like ordinary tree grubs grown to an enormous size. You're not really sure why, but you do notice that they shed light very brightly. You might be able to like pack them into a lantern and have a heatless light source that way.
Well, and that's exactly what I was thinking. I want to pick up, I don't know, we'll say 5 of them and put them into my vials.
Okay.
Is
Yeah.
the tree that they're living in, is it like an ironwood type tree or just a normal
Uh,
tree?
It's a extremely big tree, but it is not ironwood.
Okay, so Lucha put some in his vials. Anybody else have any use for glowing grubs?
Mm-mm.
Do I, from that survival roll, do I have any idea what they're going to turn into when they grow up?
No.
Okay. Well, then I will just leave them. Everybody ready to head across the lake in the direction of the green arrow?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, we're actually,
Yeah.
considering we're here, my suggestion is let's move down to here and use the wand. So right there, because that would be a triangulation point.
Okay.
Now, before we move, let's remember, allegedly, what are the things that the kobolds are fighting down south here?
Gnomes.
Yeah, we know that's gnome territory.
Yeah. So you want to take a aerial view, see if you see anything.
Yeah, let me do that.
Make me perception check.
And I'm going to scout the whole red area, which is like roughly a mile across, looks like, 2.
No, it's like 5 to 10 miles. I mean,
Okay.
including the part that's like actually in the lake.
Okay, perception check.
All right, give me a second here.
Standard Eagle 100 foot up patrol.
No, I apologize, everybody. I didn't realize that I still off mute while I'm filling my face.
Oh, we didn't notice.
You find a grove of what look to be star lilies there on the edge of the lake. You happen to know that Chay, the alchemist in town, wants those.
Right.
Right about there. It's too big. You see what looks to be a brilliant pillar of flame has scorched a hole in the forest.
Is it moving and animate or just a stationary
It
pillar
is
of flame?
stationary.
Huh, okay.
You see a big cloud of some really nasty looking mist right about there.
Okay.
And let me just you also see some gnomes, what looks to be scouts, hanging out right about there, hiding. They are pretty cleverly hidden. You only barely saw them.
How many ish?
There's about 10 of them, you think.
Okay. And I don't see any obvious
They
bodies
are
laying
at
anywhere.
the head of a waterway that stretches down towards here, and at the end of that waterway you see a little gnome village.
Okay. Mama from the Cobalt Village said something about the gnomes, and I'm just not remembering what it was. They had some special ability, or they were in league with somebody, or something.
They have a dragon, she said.
Right, that was it. And are these two villages essentially at war with each other, to the best of our knowledge?
Yeah, pretty much they kill each other whenever they run across each other. You'll also notice leading away from the gnome village, there is a sort of a path through the swamp that leads to some kind of rocks. I'm assuming you don't like follow it all the way, but you see that there's a path leading off that direction.
Okay. And I will end back at the canoe where Lucha and everybody else is and brief them on everything. I assume somebody's going to harvest the star lily.
Yeah.
I can probably do that. Is it a survival check to harvest star lily, or does it just happen?
It is a survival check to harvest them without damaging them.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
And how many do we get?
How many do you want? There's a fair-sized grove of them here, but you also know that if you disturb them too much, they might die off.
We needed 10, right?
If you want to get the ring, yeah.
Oh, she specified a number, 10?
Yep.
Okay, let's do 10 then.
Sounds good.
Ten star lilies. Okay, what do you guys want to do from here?
We're gonna use another charge on the wand and see if it triangulates.
Okay. Sorry, I was muted. I'm asking all these questions. Everybody's ignoring me while I'm on mute. I don't understand this. Um, Jenny, how bad would it decimate the star lilies if we took 20 of them?
You're not really sure. Probably not good for them, though. And they're an extremely rare plant.
Okay.
You're going to have to talk Nature Boy into decimating the star lilies. Unless I can make some sort of check that says that's going to guarantee that they'll live long and happy lives if we take 20, then I'll just take the 10.
Looks like it could be at the camp, or darn close to it.
Hang on, I'm still thinking about the star lilies. Just the fact that she's willing to pay the price that she is for those star lilies. Yeah, is it worth grabbing a couple of extras?
Let me ask it this way. Can I make a survival check to see how many I could take and guarantee that the rest thrive?
Yeah, go ahead and make the check.
Okay.
You think you could maybe get 5 more.
Okay. Consider it done.
Mm-hmm.
So 15 star lilies. And do we want to go straight to the gnome? How do you want to proceed? Like full frontal assault? Try and talk to the gnomes? Do we have any prior history with these or any gnomes?
You want to make me like a history check?
Well, nobody's ever contacted these gnomes or talked to them. Is that correct?
This particular group of gnomes, no. Basically, these gnomes are the reason why nobody comes this far into the swamp. They are nasty. They are assumed to be cannibals. They probably practice human sacrifices. They are little psychos. And
Okay.
they are known to use poisoned weapons.
That's exactly the information I was looking for. So it sounds like full frontal assault. Do you want to do anything about the pillar of fire to the south?
Well, what I'm thinking, if we come in behind,
From here?
no, going to here, then there, and then we can have listen scout over to here.
And then come up the trail. Well, they're going to be guarding the trail. We could come straight through the.
Well, they may not be.
Go ahead.
They may not be. If that's their back door and they feel safe, but they don't feel safe at the front, then they have 10 people there. How many residents do we see in the Cobalt Village? Like 20, 25?
Yeah, it wasn't that many. Did I get a sense of how many in the gnome village?
No, you saw. Here, let me see if I can bring it up here.
Thousands, hundreds, dozens. And the other question I had is there a wall around it? Or is it just open to the surrounding forest?
Can you guys actually see the map?
We
Yep.
can. Two big campfires?
Yep, that's basically what the village looks like.
So 100-ish maybe, just based on that. And is that a wall around it?
It is built on a winding promontory that sticks up above the swamp, so it is highly defensible.
Okay, so all of that tan is essentially Gnome Plateau.
Yep.
How big are these huts in comparison to the gnomes that he's seen?
Each one could hold, you think at least a good sized family. Depends on how close they're willing to sleep together.
Right. So we can figure 5 or 6, 8.
Probably.
Okay. So we'll say 6. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I count 9 dwellings.
So a few dozen gnomes total.
And then now is the center where the main fire pit is that basically the highest spot and it goes down to either side? Or does it
The big hut at the far south is the highest spot.
all right? And where is the path that goes to it? Where would that be on this map? I know it's a little off the map, but
it's down here to the south, if you can see it. It's like it's basically down.
Have you got fog of war on some of this?
Yeah.
Okay. That explains that. Alrighty. Well, that's worthwhile.
Well, and then the other question is, where do we see, do you see additional scouts or anything? Troop movements, that kind of stuff.
No, he didn't spot anything else.
No, just the.
Can we approach this place from the path? Because that way we're going to have the high ground. Instead of fighting up into them, we're fighting down.
The path that leads away from the village is actually down below the level of the village.
The village
it's down
is the
in the swamp.
For miles around?
Yep, it is.
Okay. Yeah, I'm okay with going to check out the fire and the mist and then proceeding to the gnome village, since that's where at least one soulstone appears to be.
So you guys headed down to the fire?
Sure, I guess.
Barring objection, yeah.
Here I am talking to myself on mute again, but at least I'm finished dinner. We currently have 4 soulstones, right?
Correct.
Well, I have 1 and you guys have 3 amongst yourselves. That's the way I view it.
Okay.
Party loot I have so far is a masterwork chain shirt, a +1 longsword, an ironwood crossbow, 4 soulstones, the wand of location with 21 charges, actually now 20, the leather armor +1, and 15 star lilies.
Yeah, so let's head down to the fire.
All right, you get out there, and there is a big square, actually almost perfectly square zone that has been charred out of the swamp. But when you get there, it is not especially hot, and you notice that there is a pool of water at the center, and the fire appears to be coming out from in the center of the pool of water.
Like, is it a? You've seen the top of a chimney at an oil plant that just has the continuous gas
Mm-hmm.
going off. Is that what Is that what it looks like?
Yep, pretty much.
So it looks like it could be a natural phenomenon.
Except the area around is perfectly square.
Yeah, and
If it's
it's
natural, it'd be round.
in the center of a pool of water. It looks really odd.
Huh.
And as you get closer, make me an Arcanum check.
Oh, almost. Had to tip over.
As you get closer, you kind of start to see features on the fire, and you realize that this is a fire elemental. And it does not seem to be having a great day.
So it looks like it's trapped. Well, it's been there for hours, right? Well, we've been dorking around with everything else.
Yeah, you got no idea how long it's been there. You saw it hours ago.
At least several hours, yeah.
Also, as you get further south here, you realize that the air is starting to turn kind of bad. It's starting to smell really off, and it's hurting your lungs, and you feel like you're breathing in acid. It's not doing any damage yet, but it's really uncomfortable.
Well, we got no need to mess with this.
Having a fire elemental on our side could be very beneficial.
Yeah.
How do we communicate with it?
That's what I'm trying to do right now.
What languages do you speak?
Arcanum language?
Arcanium, the language of magic, is the first one I'm going to try.
Oh, that's right.
So this is going to sound like an odd question, but is D&D still racist? As in, some colors of dragons and some elementals and some monsters are just always lawful good or lawful evil or chaotic evil, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. The one we're running is not, because we just don't have alignment, basically. If it's intelligent, it can have any kind of motives or motivations it likes.
So this is not guaranteed to be evil.
Yeah, definitely not.
And even if it is, if we can communicate with it, we just need to make it worth its while.
Well, and I'll let them know that the elemental said to free us, which means there are others around.
Or it just speaks in the
Or it's got voices in his head, yeah.
Yeah.
Only way I get intelligent answers around here.
I'm looking at the map. Did Harold just really decide to sleep in and stay there this morning?
No, I just didn't move my character.
Okay.
Just been paying more attention to the canoe.
Okay, so Jenny, I'm going to look around and see if there is a way to drain the water or remove it or. Like, how big of an area are we talking?
I'm gonna call that like a gadgets check. It's kind of a mechanical check to figure out how to get rid of this water. It's fairly big. It's about 20 feet across, but it's quite shallow. All right, as you are searching around, you realize that there is actually a sort of a gate in the side of this platform here that this thing is on, and it looks like it might, if you were to remove it, it might let the water drain out.
Okay, so looking at this, I see the gate. How close to the fire elemental is it?
It's about 20 feet away. It's not a
Okay,
very big elemental.
Well, no, I'm worried about taking fire damage.
No, the air here is not hot. The water's not boiling or anything.
Okay. And we just need to close the gate?
It's shut. It's like a dam or a water gate. It's
Oh, do we need to open?
You'd need to open it, but could we get its entire story first? How did it come to be here? Where is it from? Why was it imprisoned? We don't know that some wizard didn't imprison it because of some horrific misdeed. Although it's not likely to tell us. Draw the worm.
Alright, so saying there is a dragon around.
You said the water that the fire elemental is over is basically like dammed in place?
Yeah. Yeah, so if I understand this correctly, he's basically on a rock in the middle of a pond that stops him from moving anywhere else because there's water all around.
I think we should, regardless of the elemental, probably do something about that.
Where's the witch now?
Hang on.
I'll let you go. Sorry.
Got to stutter with my pointing. Oh, oh. I am going to try and communicate with him via message so that it's thought to thought. And basically ask him, does the witch look like this? Which is, looks like the kobolds, or does he look
It's
like
still just it's not pictures. It's not telepathy. It's just talking. Only it's subvocal.
Oh, okay. And is there a way that I could describe them that would be very evidently like the difference between the two, short, tall, fat, whatever?
Or coloration.
Well, which two are you talking about?
The difference between the kobolds and the gnomes.
Well, one of them's a kobold and the other one's a gnome.
I know, but
They would know the
okay,
difference.
so
Yeah.
that's what do you know whether the witch is a kobold or a gnome?
Well, ask it.
Hey. And I will let the rest of the party know that, he got imprisoned by the witch, who turns out is one of the gnomes. And I'm going to see if he's willing to help us against them.
Other than that, we can't understand a word of this conversation, correct?
Correct.
Right.
Okay, so I will let them know that, basically he can't help us or anything. However, the gnomes did imprison him, and it may be a good idea that sometime in the future we may run across him or something.
Well, if nothing else, we can remove food for the worm.
And basically, I'm just going to ask if he's going to harm us in any way.
See what you can find out about the worm itself. Unless everybody else knows what a worm is. I do not.
Say yes. I'll try.
So, and I'll let him know that he won't harm us, or he says he won't harm us if we free him.
And anything that he can tell us about the gnomes would be handy too.
So I'll just let everybody know that the worm's name is Shgaga.
Make an Arcanum check, please. Actually, no, don't even make a check because you just know this. Shaga is the name of the Blightworm. It's basically like one step below being a god. The mythology is if you go far enough south into the basically the swampy area, you would eventually reach an elemental zone that is just completely dominated by poison, and this creature lives there.
And it's the dragon?
It's the elemental is not doing a very good job of making a distinction between Shaga and Shaga's offspring.
Okay.
Because to the elemental, they're kind of the same thing. So you would be looking at a lesser worm that is related to Shaga.
Okay.
To the elemental, they're not really that different. You know, it's like all fires are the same fire, all water is the same water, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Probably still tough as nails and with the voice of Benedict Cumberbatch.
Okay, so I will look to the party and basically look at the two strongest people and walk over to them and say, we're going to open this gate, but if he makes any advances towards us, in a menacing manner, get ready to close that gate. So,
Did he ever answer your question about how can we kill it?
He did not.
Is that something you know with Arcanum? I assume all poison creatures are especially vulnerable to spells involving fresh air.
Yeah, it's they are actually somewhat vulnerable to what's called thunder damage, which would be electrical and sonic.
Okay.
Somewhat, not terribly.
Okay.
But in speaking in general terms, you just kill it the way you'd kill anything else. You hit it a lot.
So, who are our two strongest party members?
Like physically?
Yeah, you're lifting a gate that's keeping all this water in.
I have a 16 when wild shaped.
I have a 12.
I am. Hold on.
I am
a
Oh,
halfling.
I am 12 as well.
Oh, we're a bunch of weaklings in this group.
What did you say, Adam?
I am a halfling.
Yeah, but you're a paladin bard. Don't you have a decent strength?
He uses his chaw for hitting damage. He's just hot.
What's Golwyn's strength?
12. My weighted chain is a finesse weapon, and I have smite as well, so I use dex and...
As listens to Gringlings transforms into a bear, you hear him mumble something about, I have to do everything in this party.
I think what we heard was grunts and
No.
growls and groans.
I'm gonna try to lift the gate too.
Do you want to get a lever of some kind?
Yeah, we'd probably need some kind of fulcrum. I don't know if the bear would have the strength to lift it.
I'll be a gorilla, but yeah, I'm labor in somebody else's management when it comes to devices like this.
What is is it like a stone gate?
No, it actually looks to be made out of wood.
Could I try to smash it?
Yeah, you could.
Can I use smite against the gate?
No.
Okay.
It's not a combatant.
Does it have an AC, or do I just roll damage?
Just yeah, pretty much just roll damage.
Right. Do I only get to?
Yeah, it's not like the gate is trying to evade you or something.
All right, you whack away at it, but you're not really getting very far. It's pretty sturdy.
Does there appear to be some kind of lever or something that will lift it?
You could get like a tree branch or something.
Well, it's
No,
a gate.
there's no mechanism built in to move it.
Wait, is there anything? Is there anywhere we could like tie something to it?
It's a gate. I'm thinking gate vertical versus horizontal gate. So you're not going to swing it open like you do a door. You have to lift it up like you would a levy gate.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with the levy gate, if we could like harness like the druid wild shaped, if I like summoned a horse or something to it and have them pull, we could potentially lift it, right?
Well, it's wood. Doesn't somebody have oil and a match?
Well, isn't it submerged? Well, I guess not
it's
all of it would
holding
be
back a
submerged.
bunch of water. It's quite damp.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we need to physically get it out of the way somehow.
I mean, it's really just
Yeah.
give it a crowbar.
Yeah, well, and that's the other thing that I was thinking. So, okay. So we'll work on getting some kind of fulcrum to lift the gate to start draining the water.
All right, you guys fart around for a while and managed to finally get some stuff jammed under the lip of the gate and crack it open and strut and grain and poop yourselves a little bit and finally get it all the way open and the water drains out.
Okay. Does that free the elemental?
I see the GM is typing, so the elemental's got something to say.
Well, somewhat anticlimactic, but we feel good about ourselves.
So I am going to go where the elemental was and detect magic.
We should add that to the party mottos. Yep, got a canoe and somewhat anticlimactic, but we feel good about ourselves.
There's a remains of a ritual circle here, but nothing currently magical. Nope.
Okay. Well, who knows? Maybe we made an ally for future adventures or something.
Well, should we like disrupt the ritual circle? Or
Oh,
is
definitely.
it completely inert once it's been used?
It's already disrupted. It expired when the elemental left, basically.
Okay. Shall we head over to the fog?
Now, have we proceeded as far as we can without taking damage?
Yeah,
Or
pretty
couldn't-
much. If you get much further south, you're going to start taking damage.
So that fog, the way you've drawn it, it's that small mass there on the river. Is it actually just much larger and extends and gets denser as we go south?
Yeah, it's the river provides a clear path for it to basically seep up, so that's why it's closer on the river. But it is actually down all along the southern part of the map.
Okay. So it sounds
Oh.
like we need to completely skirt the fog, go across the river at the south end of the lake, and then head to the Goblin Village.
No.
The gnome village.
The Gnome Village, sorry.
So we need to land about there. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and go nowhere near the fog.
Yeah, I kind of agree. We do need you to scout this area down around here. Knowing that we saw, the goblins up here. we want to make sure this is a fairly safe place to land.
Gnomes. I am sorry for ever starting that.
Oh yeah, the short little run.
Yeah, I'll scatter it as an eagle. Yeah, if we get too close to that fog, we're going to end up with permanent pulmonary impairment and hospitalized on a ventilator, and we just want to avoid that.
The terrain between the shore of the lake here and where the gnome village is looks to be exceedingly dangerous. There are really just nasty, quick bogs and just all kinds of, it looks like it's going to be really rough going, and you're going to need to make some survival checks to get through it.
Well, before we tackle the gnomes, do we want to try to just cycle back up to where like the traveling hut was to see if there's any other soul stones? Because I mean, the one detects the closest one, and we've got 3 left roughly to find.
I want to take care of this witch.
I do too, but I was thinking, so the only 2 passable approaches to the gnome village are the trail to the south and the river to the north, correct?
Yeah, pretty much.
And the river to the north is guarded. So if we want to approach the gnome village via the trail from the south, we're going to have to take the canoe all the way around anyway.
Well, what about taking the canoe up to here and then over to here?
Well, but then when the canoe's about here, we could disembark and go check out the hut.
Well, the hut's ways away from there.
Well, okay, so my thoughts are if we go here, or even like you said, here, we can use the wand again and see where it points.
Yeah, we'd need to be clearly closer to the hut than the gnome village in order to pick up a soulstone if it's at the hut.
Right. That's why I was thinking if we were up like here in this fork.
Yeah.
Okay.
If there was something near that hut, then we'd get an arrow toward the hut versus the gnomes.
Remember,
just to rule out that there's not another soulstone somewhere else.
Can I draw on this map? Because remember, we had... Okay, let's see if I can figure out how to do this. We had an arrow right about here that pointed down like that. It didn't point directly south, but you were the other side of the...
That was pointing at the turtles.
I thought we had one going this way past the turtles.
No, that was pointing at the turtles.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how to remove the arrows, so.
Now, if I could ask, how this kind of lake, how big is this lake? Would these gnomes that are, hiding in ambush be able to see all the way across the lake?
Yeah. I mean, it's a good sized lake, but they can see the far shore. It's not real clear, but it's also very placid.
Already seen us?
Well, yeah, I want to go back this way along the shore at this point to try and not have them, because obviously if we go this way,
I'll bet you they've already seen us. It's a
they probably have, but
yeah, because we came all the way down from that log, we harvested lilies, we benched the canoe down north of the fire elemental.
I'm just saying, if we go this way, they definitely see us, and I got to think they, send somebody to kind of keep an eye on us.
Well,
whereas if we go this way, they may not, they may note us, and then come back down.
I'll bet we're already the talk of the gnome village. I didn't even think of that. I thought the lake was a lot bigger.
I mean, they might even, already know that we freed the fire elemental. If it used to be a brilliant pillar of flame, and they can see it cross the lake.
Well,
It's you can see it at night across the lake. During the day, not so much. There's still lots of tree cover and so forth.
So realistically, we have until nightfall to deal with these guys, or we're going to be at a disadvantage in the fact that they're going to know something's up and be a little bit more on their guard.
I think if they're still around come nightfall, we should assume that they know about us and consider us a threat. Because we should assume that they have both seen us and know that the fire elemental is gone.
probably be stalking us. I still like Harold's plan of going up to that fork and activating the wand again to make sure there's no other soul stones up north.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
And in fact, with the canoe out of view for a bit, maybe we could come back.
And that's. I was just gonna say that's kind of the other part. So they probably saw us come down there, even if we screwed with the fire elemental. If they see us rowing away and leaving, and the canoe doesn't come back for a couple days, then
we'd have a better opportunity to surprise them.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, if we went, so I'm going to move the canoe. If we went up here and activated the wand, Jenny, do we think we could portage the canoe from here down to here?
We're gonna have to kind of be there to see the terrain. Well, maybe you can, since
Yeah,
Yeah,
you'd kind of have to take a look at the terrain. You do know that there is a waterway that sort of leads up toward the turtles, though, so you'd only have to portage it, basically. Where the heck is my little drawing icon? You'd basically only need to cross like this much.
Okay. So that becomes a much more feasible plan. We go up to that fork, activate the wand, then go down, portage the canoe, and then we could come up the trail from the rear of the gnome village without them having 100 miles of warning that we're coming.
Well, the other question is there any streams? Oops. Okay, I can't move the boat.
Make sure you've got the arrow selected.
Oh, that's why. Is there any streams like down around between here and there?
Not that you've seen, no, but you haven't been down that waterway that far.
So we've asked an illustrious scout to check that out. I mean, we'd come up here, use the wand, see which way it's pointing, and eventually start coming down this river to say about here or someplace, relatively safe that we know of, and then, go back and do our scouting party again with the eagle.
Let's do this in parallel. Why don't you guys take the canoe up here to use the wand, and I will scout that and this entire river from there to there and the area in general, and then I'll meet you back up at that fort.
Good enough?
Okay, but then who's using the wand?
You can use it.
Yeah, someone just.
You can use it.
Okay, well, it just means Listens won't have the wand while he's scouting. That's the only clarification I wanted to make.
Which is fine for now.
Okay, so scouting, you find that yes, there is definitely a waterway that goes like this. You don't see any other waterways down here. However, make me perception checks.
Checks? As in, like, the people on the...
Just listen since he's scouting.
There.
Okay then. You spot a very weird looking grove of fruit trees. Come on. Right about there. The fruit appears to be growing, or not growing, glowing. And over here, you find what appears to be some trees. I don't know if that's super visible or not, but down here that are thoroughly infested with spider webs. Here, let me do this one. Just massive, massive spider webs. It looks like a whole city of basically built by spiders. And that's all you find.
If we took a canoe down that river, we'd be going right through the spiderweb trees, or they're more off to the side?
They're more off to the side.
Okay. So we can avoid them if we'd like.
Yes.
Okay, and then after the scouting, I will meet the rest of the gang back up at the canoe.
Okay, so while he's gone, we're going to use the wand to see which direction the closest soulstone is.
All right, from the canoe, it is that way.
So everything's pointing to the village, which is interesting because we should have 3 soulstones left.
Yeah, they could all 3 be down there, though.
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, that would make a lot of sense.
The gnomes could be hoarding them, even.
If the gnomes are a marauding cannibal terrorist psychotic force, then it would make sense.
Well,
that
and keep in mind that Mama Jama told you that the adventurers originally got attacked by the gnomes and basically ran away and got lost in the swamp, and that's why most of them wound up dead.
Yep.
So the gnomes may have just killed some of them there.
Okay, so do you want to portage the canoe and go straight for the back entrance to the gnome village? Or does anybody want to go see why there's a hut running around in the middle of the swamp?
Well, I primarily want to take care of the gnome witch who builds dams. But they use a lot of poison weapons, right? So before we enter gnome territory, do we want to go back to town and see if we can get anything to deal with poison? Or do we have magic for that?
That may be a very good idea.
Yeah.
I haven't even thought about dealing with poison from a magic standpoint. Let me look and see what spells that I might have.
Well,
I'm being the inquisitive, magical mind that I am curious about this walking hut.
The alchemist did have stuff to resist poison.
Yeah, she's got resist poison potions. She's got a couple of potions that'll boost your saving throws.
And more oil of ignition.
Yes. And also if we can just generally improve our equipment. Anyway.
I want to say let's check out the hut and the grove of trees, and then head back to town. I don't want to deal with the spiders or the kobolds at this point in time.
You mean the gnomes?
Or, I'm sorry, the gnomes at this point in time until after we get that poison resistance. But I'm curious about the other two items. And we're already here.
I have nothing that actually slows or cures poison in my spell list. Does anybody?
Nope.
The only ability I could have by now would be a Mercy on my Lay on Hands, but I took the Injuries one instead.
Yeah, I can diagnose poison with cure, but I can't actually fix it.
That's because the poisons mostly just inflict injuries. So you'd be removing injuries.
Ah, okay. So there is no mechanism where you have to actually neutralize or slow poison.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so cure does it. It just takes a lot of them.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, then my Injuries Mercy is useful for that.
Yeah, and the best I can do is detect poisons.
You do actually need a Mercy specifically to remove poisons. I think I listed it on there because using your Mercy does not diagnose the source of the poison, basically. It is just magic, it's not a diagnostic ability.
So we organically have the ability to remove injuries caused by poison, but I concur with the plan to go back to town and get something that would actually prevent the injury in the first place.
An ounce of prevention and all that.
Right.
Yep.
But
I'm also happy to check out the hut and the glowing fruit trees.
All right.
Well, let's do the hut, and then we probably need to call it for the night.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Alright, so you guys go down river to the where you saw that weird hut. You find a very large clearing. Hang on, let me get everybody. Where the heck's Lucha?
I had forgotten all about that Star Lily side quest.
Yeah, so did I.
Are there any others like that?
Not that we know of.
Nothing I heard about.
Okay.
You find this really big clearing, and as you approach, you see an old lady who is screaming at a very, very big hut on chicken legs that keeps running away from her.
And we understand her clearly.
Yeah, she appears to be human.
A chicken hut.
And she's yelling at it in trade.
Yeah. Yep, she looks to be quite exhausted. Apparently she's been chasing it for a while. But she'll like try to sidle up on it and the hut'll move. It doesn't appear to be running away exactly, it's just sort of staying away from her.
Does she look like Baba Yaga? Do we know that legend?
Hang on, let me see here.
I mean, the house looks like her
She
house.
looks like that. She doesn't look like a supernatural witch. She just looks like a tired old lady.
So I'll yell out. Well, okay.
I think Harold could solve this with one sexy chicken leg house dance.
Yeah.
I don't know if that thing has eyes.
And I put it in all caps to signify that I am shouting.
Yeah. She comes down here to have a look at you guys.
If Harold tries to fascinate it, that's essentially a risk-free approach, isn't it? Because if he fails, he just fails and comes back.
Yeah, but it'd have to have eyes, basically. Can I tell? I mean, does it really have eyes or anything like that?
Well, it has obviously some means of detecting the old lady when she tries to approach. So it's semi-intelligent. I mean, if it's not like a living creature, if it's truly like just a magical artifact, then yeah, that probably wouldn't work. But I mean, it can clearly at least has some means of observing the world.
I guess that's my point. There's no harm in trying, correct?
Yeah, attempting to fascinate's not hostile, apparently.
But if it doesn't work, he could look silly.
That ship has sailed.
So yeah, I'm gonna try and approach the hut and just kind of in that, hands down, open palm, like I'm not gonna hurt you. Anything else kind of demeanor.
So
Your
Lucha, let me ask,
icon.
what's your this is going to end up being an authority or a CHA-based check, I'm guessing. Do you have that?
Now, authority, no. CHA, no. But it is a magical creature. So I'm thinking I would know at least a little bit about it.
You could try making an Arcanum check.
There you go. For that roll, you can just walk up and turn off the crazy chicken leg knob.
Well, it does appear to be some kind of a magical creature. You suspect it kind of has chicken instincts from the way it's acting.
Okay.
If you guys were to surround it, you might be able to kind of drive it back toward the old lady.
Yeah, well, and that's kind of what I was wondering is how close we can get to them, and we're herding chickens. So, knowing what I know, I'll let the rest of the group know. Look, we're herding chickens back towards the old lady. So I'm right there right now. I'm going to suggest everybody else go around to the back. And eventually I'm going to move this way.
Okay, hold up. The line about the ground shakes as it scratches its feet. Your underlying hypothesis is that we surround it and we don't just get stomped into the ground when it decides to go through us.
That's why we're coming from behind and herding it towards the old lady.
Adam, you gotta stop rolling them ones, dude.
Dang it.
Not like I can control it.
Oh, well, there goes the easy way.
Well, based on everyone else's movement, does it move away?
Oh.
We have, 5 big, nice, juicy, magical grubs with us?
Yep. So I'm going to try and toss one of the grubs kind of, and I'm using my character as a pointer, but right to there. Yeah.
Okay.
Does he go to the grub?
Let me check here.
I mean, grubs, chickens, magical. It eats magical brews.
The chicken kind of moves down and sort of squats, and the grub disappears. You're not sure exactly what happened.
Okay, so I'm going to throw another one. Harold, I'm going to tell you to move back to the tree line. And then I'm going to throw another one right there.
Mm. After looking around, the hut kind of moves down that way a little bit more.
And then the third one right
This is
there.
novel. Alright, it kind of moves down a little bit more.
We're
Then
going to
the
end up with a party with listens to greenlings, lap dances for turtles, and feeds chicken houses.
fourth one to there.
And it moves down here again, and the old lady grabs onto its leg when it gets that close. And surprisingly, spryly, she climbs on up the leg and pops in the house.
And then I'll basically shout out, "Are we good now?"
Actually, if that I wonder if she's going to claim that egg.
I wonder if she can tell us anything about the gnomes.
Yeah, that's the gnomes and the witch and the worm. If she has any intel on that, that would be the biggest boon.
Huh?
You guys see where I'm going with this?
Yeah, if she could make us potions of poison resistance, that would
Nah.
be awesome. We need potions of poison resistance and potions of bards not rolling 1.
Uh,
Oh, just ask her. Ask her what she might have. I'd like her to just list what she's got.
Oh, sweet. So that is a +10 on save versus poisons?
Yes, it lasts for 1 hour. Basically, the first 10 points of poison damage you would take in a round are negated.
How heavy is this egg exactly?
yeah.
It weighs 200 pounds.
Oh, good lord.
It's basically the size of a person.
Well, let's get it onto the canoe.
Yeah, we found something for Daz to do finally.
Sit on a huge egg.
Just take care of the egg.
But yeah, let's get it onto the canoe. At this point in time, I'm all for going back to town to restock. And then the other thing that I'd like to do is spend like 2 or 3 days in town restocking, selling, doing all the stuff we need to do. In the meantime, what I would like to do is recharge that wand back up to its maximum. And I'm not sure if 27 was the max or whether we just got it with 27 charges.
You can charge it up to 50. It's gonna take you like a week.
So how high can I get it with 2 days?
I'd say you could get 10 charges back if you want.
Okay. So we'll get
It's
10
gonna-
charges back.
It's gonna cost you 10 silver.
Okay. Well, that'll come out of the party funds from all the stuff we're selling.
Do you want to do all the selling tonight or wait till next time?
You guys are not really gonna be able to sell much in town here.
Just because they don't have money?
Yeah, they don't really have that much in the way of money to buy things from you, and they have no ability to resell stuff here. So you will probably need to wait until you get to civilization to offload like magic items and stuff.
The other thing when making that decision is before we break, we need to discuss when we're playing next.
Yep, that's another good point.
I can make virtually anything work.
I can go Wednesday or Friday, just not Thursday. Somebody else was in the same boat, I think.
Do we want to shoot for Wednesday then?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Wednesday works for me.
Okay. Wednesday. Same time?
Yep.
Yeah, that'll work.
Very good.
Alrighty. Well, thanks for coming, guys. It was a lot of fun.
Okay.
All
Sorry,
right.
I had to run to the restroom, so I muted myself here. I just got a couple of questions. Do we have a place in town to securely store the gear that we have?
You can rent,
Including the egg?
The egg's gonna be a little problematic because it needs to be kept warm, but the rest of it you can like rent a box from the smith to store your stuff in.
Okay. And our elk